This is the Qwerkywriter S Bluetooth mechanical keyboard. And if you've been with the channel for a while, you'll remember that I reviewed this about a year or so ago, maybe coming up to 2 years. Well, Qwerkywriter saw those videos, sent me an email a few weeks ago and asked me whether I'd love to review the Qwerkywriter Anniversary Edition. Well, I couldn't say no, could I? Hey everyone, Mark from The Spark here. Welcome back to another video, and I'm so excited. I love tech that has that retro look, but also throws in all the bells and whistles of 21st century living. And the Qwerkywriter keyboard just ticks that box so positively. So without any further ado, let's unbox this, and then after I've done that, we'll have a little play. I'll go through some of its main features and how it stacks up against not only the Qwerkywriter S, but the original Kickstarter product that came out, I don't know how many years ago now. This is going to be a Kickstarter funded product as well. So hopefully this video will be released on the 2nd of June or there and thereabouts, because that's when they're launching it. I'll put the link to that Kickstarter campaign in the description box below. Okay, let's go ahead. I've had a sneak peek. I mean, how could I resist it? I've been in my house for 2 weeks, but I've not properly unboxed it. I've not even typed on it yet. So here we are. Wow, I just love the look of this. Oh my goodness, yeah, it feels as heavy and as solid as this one, the Qwerkywriter S. Let's get this out just before we look at that in a little bit more detail. Oh, I'm loving it. What do we get here? So we've got online support and PDF manual. So that one, the Qwerkywriter S, came with a whole manual with loads of pictures and stuff. So they've gone QR coding here. So we need to scan that if I want to know anything more about it. Now, one of the unique things about the Anniversary Edition is that the key switches are hot swappable. I know next to nothing about switching keyboard switches, so it's all new to me. But we'll go into that in a little while. But there you go, that enables you to take those out without unsoldering the key switches and what have you. Now, a little bit disappointed to see it's still USB-A to USB-C. Why has it not gone USB-C to USB-C? But I would imagine you can still connect it by USB-C, USB-C. You'll certainly be able to charge it. Although it's a Bluetooth keyboard, you might find this hardwired connection to be better for you, particularly if you try gaming on this thing, because the switches apparently are that fast and responsive that you will be able to do some gaming on there. But if you connect it, if you hardwire it, you're supposed to have the lowest latency possible, if any latency, rather than going via Bluetooth. It is Bluetooth 5.0, which I think the Qwerkywriter S was also 5.0, but the original was Bluetooth 3. So both these keyboards can connect up to 3 different devices, and you can swap between them. The original one couldn't do that. And also I think 5.0 means the connection is better, stronger, etc. All right, okay, let's just put them side by side. So Qwerkywriter S, there we go, and Anniversary, just got Qwerkywriter on it. Got rubber feet nicely mounted there on the bottom, so those rubber feet will keep it from moving. Trying to move the camera up here. Okay. Hope you can pick that up. I'll try and turn the volume up. Okay. Whether you like the look is subjective. So clearly this has got this kind of black finish. So matte black keys, shiny finishes to each keycap here, where obviously this has got a shiny kind of metal looking accent to each key. And then you've got the 2 red buttons here, tab and delete. But I like both of them. You know, I happily having both of these on my desk, you know, one on display maybe while I'm using the other one. Are they is this any thinner? Let's have a look. No, not really. On-off switch in the same place, and that looks about the same as well. Again, compared to the original Kickstarter This was a bit shallow and narrow. It couldn't fit keyboards like like my iPad here, which is what it is designed for. Fits quite nicely in there. They've still left this metal here, so it's a rubber padding here. This is plastic here, but this is metal, so you do have to be wary of potentially scratching. I mean, it is curved and it is nicely I don't know, polished, whatever you want to say to that. So the likelihood of it doing that is probably quite low, but just to be aware of it. If it's not in a case, then you've always got that potential of scratching the metal on the back of your iPad or other tablet that you might use with it, but I don't think it will. The composite they've used on the keyboard here reduces smudges and things like that, but apparently they've improved that even greater on here. So you'll have even less fingerprinty and smudging and what have you all over it than you would do on that one, and particularly compared to the first one. The first Qwerkywriter, I think, had about 1,000 milliamp hour battery. This one has got 3,500 milliamp hour battery. But compare that to this, they're quoting that this, with that bigger battery, will give you about 1 to 2 months between charges. So really, that's not something you're going to be too concerned about. I mean, it does depend how hard you're hammering this thing, how much you're using it. But, you know, that shouldn't be something that you're really going to have to think about too hard. And plug it in for a couple of hours overnight and you're done for another few months or so. So like I say, it does use that USB-C to charge. The original one was micro USB, so thank goodness they quickly moved on with the Qwerkywriter S. That's also USB-C as well, but good to have that, even if they did provide a cable with USB-A on the end of it. The original, right, I'm going to have to look at my screen here because I don't understand it. About key switches, let's talk about that a little bit. The original Qwerkywriter used Kaihl blue switches, so they were very clicky, very tactile, which again, you know, you might like, but probably quite loud. You'd probably annoy the person you were sitting next to if you were going for a long typing session. Then they brought out the Qwerkywriter S, which used Cherry MX blue switches, which are still quite clicky, but a little bit quieter. But, you know, again, gives you that satisfactory click that you're probably typing on a proper old school typewriter. Okay, but definitely still end of the clicky end of the spectrum. Now these are using, let me look here, the Cherry MX2A Speed Silver switches. So can we take that off there? So they're using that. And what do you do to get this off? Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, finally pull it off. There we are. So this is the Cherry MX2A Silver Speed switch here. There we are. Now these, let me try and get this in here carefully so I don't break anything. I've got two little connections there. There we go. All right, that was nerve-wracking. I didn't like that. But it means you can upgrade your switches. You have to buy them all replacements, but you can do that. Now, what the MX2A Speed Silver switches means that they are less clicky, but they are more responsive, and there's less downward travel on the keys. So actually, I've got to be honest, in terms of probably kind of sound-wise, liking the sound of that compared to that, that's definitely a duller sound. You do type better on this. I mean, I got used to lifting my fingers up higher on that one, but I do use my Apple Magic Keyboard quite a bit, and to go from that to that is quite a thing, and I tended to make quite a lot more mistakes. But because they're lower and the travel distance is lower, I can see myself typing faster with less errors on here. So smooth, fast travel. They actuate quicker. So like I say, you don't have to bottom out the keys to register a press, which is ideal for that kind of rapid typing. And yeah, they're definitely quieter. So it doesn't sound like you're writing a novel with a stapler. If you prefer different kinds of switches, and again, if you're into that, then you're into it and you know what you're talking about, then you just pull them out and replace them all to something of your satisfaction. We got these here as well, which one is for the volume and one will do scrolling the screen. Let's connect it to my iPad here before I go into any more of the features, and we shall have a look at that. So I'm going to put this on here. Let me type on here. Let me see if I move this back. Very nice is this to type on. Please and subscribe. This feels lovely. It's very responsive. And yeah, okay, if I'm being honest, I like that it's lower and it's much more responsive. I think I prefer the clicky sound of the Qwerkywriter S, but this isn't too far behind it. I guess swings and roundabouts, if you want a bit more responsive, quicker, etc., then you've got to take some cons as well as the pros, but you may love that. That may be absolutely spot on for you, and that's exactly the kind of thing you would want. Okay, there was an app we used last time. It's Hanx Typewriter. There we go. So if you wanted to add that sound back, there you go. So if you like that really authentic experience, now imagine that's on here, so it looks like the end of the typewriter. Okay. Shall I turn the sound up on this so you can hear this as well? So you could use the Hemingway app and add that sound back to it, I guess. If you remember in my old video, this thing here, as you saw in that Hanx example, is a return. It's like it used to do in the old style typewriters, a return to a new line. But this is programmable, so you can make it do whatever you want. It's macro programmable. I did it so that this one on here took a screenshot. I'll show you the video of that. There we go. I'll be able to do the same thing with that as well, or anything else I want to program it with. And again, if you use the QR code here, I'm sure it'll go through all that enable you to show you how to program it and what have you. Okay, this one is supposed to do scrolling. I've just had to look at the instructions here because I was thinking, why did that work? Well, apparently you have to. iOS does support page scrolling by enabling assisted touch under settings and accessibility. Enable assistive touch. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you'd need to enable assistive touch for that to work, but that's quite nice, isn't it? So in short, it's probably a little bit more refined than the Qwerkywriter S, and certainly it's come a long way since the original Kickstarter model. You've got that much better battery life, so lasting months rather than weeks, and it does have that retro charm to it, particularly if you pair it with that the Hanx app as well. Gives it even greater charm. But it feels better to type on, and those switches are obviously the big selling point. And if you're into keyboards, being able to hot swap them out to something that you prefer is just a massive selling point. Now, I don't know how much this is. We're probably talking $250, something like that, probably equivalent in pounds. I'll have the link to that Kickstarter page in the description so you can go visit it, and when it launches on the 2nd, which is today or thereabouts, you'll be able to find out how much that early campaign support is for this. I don't know, they haven't given me those details. Is it practical? Well, you're probably not going to take it to the coffee shop, although you could. This is probably something to keep on your desk if you have one. I don't. I have my kitchen table, and it looks great. I think I mentioned in the first video when I did have a desk over near my door, people couldn't help but type on it as they walk past, and I imagine if I had that same setup here that people would want to do the same thing here. It's just a very tactile looking piece of equipment. So if you're a writer, I'd recommend it to you. It gives you that feel, all the feels. And if you're a tech nerd like me, again, grab it. It'll give you all the feels, and you can have two. You can nicely display the older one on the shelf while you're utilizing the newer one. An expensive hobby, I guess, but if you're into keyboards, then you're prepared to spend that kind of cash, aren't you? So I'm going to go and I'm going to go write the next great novel, or maybe just another video script. Let me know if this is something that attracts you, something you'd be willing to kind of lay down some bucks for. Have you bought the Qwerkywriter S, or indeed did you have the original model? How does this seemingly compare with that? How does it compare with this? Have you been enjoying the Qwerkywriter S, for example? Just to remind you, I did get this sent, so I didn't pay for it, and I'm very grateful to them for the company sending me a review unit. But there are a lot of tech that I do have to pay for, so if you want to help me buy more tech to show you, go buy me a virtual coffee here, or use the join button below to become a member of the channel. It'll really help me out lots, and what will help me out even better is by subscribing and tapping that like button and sharing the video with those you think might be interested in something like this. Until the next video, happy typing.